According to a bunch of sources, Deandre Ayton and Mony Williams haven't spoken to each other since Game 7. I'm just going to read all these quotes. When I say Game 7, it's referring back to the series against the Mavericks, in which they choked a Game 7 in front of their home crowd. Very embarrassing. I think they lost by over 30 points in that game. Probably one of the most humiliating Game 7 losses for a home team in NBA history. So I'm just going to read some quotes. I haven't spoken to Monty. I haven't spoken to him at all ever since the game, Ayton told reporters. And obviously he's referring to Game 7. And then he also said, yeah, I'm all right. So that's another quote he said by him. So Ayton also said this quote when it comes to talking to Mony Williams. He said, I can show him better than I can tell him. So that's what he said. And now here are some quotes from Mony Williams. I'm just going to quote him. So Mony Williams said he hasn't talked to a lot of guys, quote unquote. And when asked if the situation with Ayton could be problematic, he said not at all. Here's another quote by Mony Williams on Ayton. I think the thing that people don't see is how much he's been in the gym and how much he's gotten better this summer. I'm going to reread the quote. I misquoted it. I think the thing that people don't see is how much he's been in the gym and how much better he's gotten this summer. Williams said Monday, I think having all that stuff behind him has given him a sense of relief. I think when players know you want them around and value them, it gives them confidence. That doesn't mean you don't have situations that come up. That's part of coaching and part of being on a really good team with competitive players. Here's another quote by him. There wasn't a scenario where we felt like he wasn't going to be around. He's too good of a player and he's a good dude. There's times when you bump heads on certain issues, but that doesn't define a person in totality. I think sometimes that stuff just gets blown out of proportion, and rightfully so when you don't know all the facts. Okay, so what I think about this, I think Ayton and Mony Williams will never like each other as people. That's what I'm assuming from these quotes, that it's kind of like they've already just accepted that reality that they had to work with each other, but they're never going to be friends. That's what I suspect from all this. Also, it seems like both are willing to have a working relationship, but it's never going to go beyond that. So that's what I see developing. Now, you got to see if Ayton's going to at least play now since he's gotten that big contract that he wanted. Will he produce despite not liking Mony Williams, unlike last year? Or will he just sulk when things don't go his way and decide not to show up? I think that's the biggest question mark Phoenix is facing now heading to the season, is that can Ayton be counted on when things get tough, when the Suns face some adversity, whether it's the regular season or the playoffs? Or will he just do what he did last year in Game 7, just quit and do nothing because he can and just get away with it? I think that's the thing you need to be concerned about if you're a Suns fan. I feel Ayton has a lot to prove after that Game 7 showing. He has a lot to prove when it comes to just his reputation, his legacy, and if he can be trusted. I think we're going to see that this year. If this is just a one-time situation where he gave up on the team, kind of like Scottie Pippen in 1994 in that Game 4 against the Knicks, when things didn't go his way, he just sat on the bench and sulked. Or will he just so that's basically what it is. He's going to either just bounce back like Scottie did, or he'll just continue to be that guy when things don't go his way. He'll just do nothing, and obviously that's not a good sign for the Suns. So I think this year is just a test run for the Suns and Ayton if this relationship can work long term. If he lays another egg like he did in last year's playoffs, I think the Suns would have to trade him. I definitely would. There's just no point of keeping him around if he's that type of player. You can't win in this league if a guy, even as talented as Ayton lacks competitive fire. So that's the most important thing. But that's all I have to say about this matter.